Hello and welcome to Tech Raven. I'm Nigel, and today I'm just going to be doing a little comparison between these Roland PD-108 toms and the PDX-100 toms that this TD-27 kit originally came with. In a minute I'm going to jump onto the computer and just give you a couple of little side-by-sides. But in the meantime, the reason I upgraded these is purely for cosmetic looks, because they're a lot deeper. They've got this extra little rim at the bottom, and they've got this nicer holder here. I did find that playing these compared to the PDX-100s, that from an acoustic point of view, when the kit isn't turned on, they just have a slightly bassier sound to the PDX-100s. Now that would be to be expected because the PDX-100s are actually narrower. So as you can see, they look really nice on this kit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly jump onto the computer and show you some images, because I've got some photographs that I took of the PDX-100s when they were on this kit and the PDX-100 with the newer PD-108 next to it. So let me do that now, and then I'll come back here to wrap up the video. Okay, so this is the Roland website, and here we've got the TD-27KV2. Now let me apologise if I do repeat myself here, if I've already covered any of this stuff, but I'm just going to go through this really quickly. So when you buy this drum kit, it actually comes with 3 PDX-100 toms, as you can see here, 2 on the rack and 1 on the floor. So I basically upgraded the all three of them actually. I basically replaced these 2 rack toms with the PD-108s, and this PDX-100 on the floor for the floor tom, I replaced that with a PD-128, and I also bought another PD-128, that's the PD-128BC in the same black chrome finish, to add as a second floor tom. So I've actually got 4 toms in total. So let me just come across to this page on the Roland website. So with the PDX-100, as you can see, if I flick between the two, the PDX-100 and the PD-108BC, you can see that the PDX-100 has just got this solid plastic bottom, whereas the PD-108 has got the same sort of finish at the bottom as some of the higher end Roland drums. So a little bit of light does come through here, so if you've got LED lights under them, then it's going to shine through the actual mesh head at the top, which can look quite funky. In terms of weight, the PDX-100 weighs 1.8 kilograms, which is 4 pounds, whereas the PD-108 weighs 3 kilograms, which is 6 pounds. So in the UK, it's 2 pounds heavier. Well, it's 2 pounds heavier everywhere in the world, but in the UK, it's about the weight of a 2-pound bag of sugar extra for this PD-108. So it is substantially heavier than the PDX-100. Now on the Roland website, it does say the PDX-100 is made in Japan, but I think that was quite a while back. I'm convinced that they're actually made in Malaysia now, because I actually sold a couple of mine and they did have made in Malaysia written on the bottom of them, whereas the PD-108 is actually made in Japan, and it feels it as well. It feels like it's a better made drum. Now if I bring this picture up, this shows the PD-108 on the right and the PDX-100 on the left. Now even though I upgraded all of these, I couldn't actually find a shop that had 2 PD-108s in stock, so I had to order one from a dealer in England and another one I had to order from the Netherlands. So I was playing with the PDX-100 on the left and the PD-108 on the right for about 3 days. Now what I can tell you is playing these acoustically, meaning not switched on, just from an acoustic point of view, I found the PD-108 on the right here to sound slightly bassier. It just had a nicer, bassier tone when it's all switched off compared to the PDX-100 on the left, which sounded a little bit more sort of trebly in the frequency, I suppose. So playing it acoustically, the PD-108 definitely sounds nicer. As you can see from this image, when they're both on the kit side by side, the PD-108 on the right is actually quite a lot higher. The exact measurements are 117 millimeter from top to bottom, whereas the PDX-100 here is 90 millimeters. You can also see that on the PD-108 on the right, you've actually got this extra hoop, if you like, along the bottom, whereas with the PDX-100 there isn't. It's just basically got this plastic bit. So overall, the actual height of the PD-108 is substantially more than the PDX-100, which means the PD-108 is looking more like an actual tom. It's starting to get in the direction of actually looking more like a tom, if that makes sense. I also prefer this mount on the PD-108. It's round and it's chrome all over, and it just looks more stylish than the plastic squared off mount that the PDX-100 has. If I just sort of come back to the Roland website, it does say for the PD-108 that it's got an improved rim sensor for accurate rim sensing over the PDX-100. I didn't find there to be too much difference in this regard, in all honesty. The reason I bought them was primarily just for the way they look. It just looks smarter and nicer. It will certainly look nicer on stage as well. There is quite a cost increase though, because the PDX-100 on the left here, they retail in the UK at about £180 each brand new, whereas on the right here, the PD-108, they actually come in at around about £385 to £400, give or take. So they are more than double the cost. And all you're getting for that extra cost of around about £400 as opposed to £180 is the fact that they're made in Japan instead of made in Malaysia. As you can see, it's a deeper shell and it's got the improved rim sensing and a better mount here. But it's primarily for looks. Apart from that, there's not going to be too much in it. Okay, so there it is. That's my little comparison between these newer and, in my opinion, better PD-108s and the slightly thinner PDX-100s. Hope you found this video useful. Until the next time, bye for now.